If you've been alive for any decent amount of time, you would have been witness to a fantastic thing, the rise of technology. Not too many years ago, things like USB flash sticks were really expensive and really quite useless. Smartphones have got slimmer and smarter, and laptops, already quite convenient things, are slowly being replaced by tablets. So, what has all that got to do with cars? Well, technology in cars has followed the same trend. Not too long ago, if you wanted features like sat-nav or Bluetooth, you'd have to opt for something a little more premium. It was the same story if you wanted safety systems like multiple airbags or corner braking control and convenience bits like automatic parallel parking. Thanks to technology's seemingly ever-increasing rate of evolution, things like that are now available in cars like this. The 5th generation Opel Corsa, a completely reinvented and brand new version of one of the company's most important models. And Opel are very keen to point out that the technologies and the materials and the features in this car are the kinds of things you might expect to find in something in a higher price bracket. The design is still very Opel-ish in its approach, but for a start, the materials really are top quality. Nice bits of satin chrome mixed with soft touch plastics for a look and feel that's generally quite impressive. Although it is an all-new design, the most prominent piece is something you'll recognize from other GM products. The touchscreen system includes online radio, as well as Opel's sat-nav system that integrates with your mobile phone. The standard spec in this top-of-the-range Cosmo version is good, and you can add things like automatic parking, but not all spec levels are quite so generous. The lowest spec level, for example, doesn't even have aircon as standard. For me, from the outside, the Corsa is less impressive. It still is a good-looking machine, it is very Opel and has definite character, but for something that was designed from a clean sheet of paper, it kind of looks just like a mini Astra. And I'm still in two minds about some of the finishes. On the positive side, the headlights have a striking design, making sure that the Corsa won't be confused with anything else. On the downside, some of the finishing, specifically the chrome, looks a little aftermarket. The back is also just plain old Opel generic. But it should have the right appeal for the market, slightly athletic with less of the cute and a touch more of the upmarket. Another all-new part is the engine and has some pretty cool background info, like the fact that it's an all-aluminium construction and it weighs just over 100 kilograms. But it is also another motor that's giving rise to the popularity of the 1-litre 3-cylinder. This one is helped out by a turbo, so it puts out 85 kilowatts and 170 newton meters. And it is pretty good, especially when you give this car some space. Our test drive in the Cape was more about mountain passes than stop-start traffic, which in a small car isn't usually the description of a great day out. And yet, here we are getting to know the little Opel and actually having a good time while doing it. Another cool engine fact, Opel says this is the quietest engine of its kind on the market, although thankfully it still does allow some of that 3-cylinder sound into the cabin. But as impressive as it is, it's helped out in a big way by a very well-sorted 6-speed manual gearbox that always seems to have power on tap when you want it. After a short space of time, I stopped second-guessing it and just started putting my foot down instead, and it almost always delivered. The slight downside is that the clutch takes a bit of getting used to, especially around town when the stop-start system is in action. But what's really impressive isn't the engine and the gearbox combo or the standard spec you get in this car. It is the ride setup that you just really don't expect in this class of car. The cabin is nice and quiet, the suspension is forgiving, and at the same time, it'll quite happily take on a mountain pass. Where you expect the Corsa to deliver understeer, it tracks fairly accurately, and it allows you to boot it out of a corner earlier than you might expect. All that is helped by a completely reworked steering system and chassis. It's not filled with tons of feedback, but it is accurate, and it allows you to get a lot of fun out of an enthusiastic drive. You can't really mention Opel Corsa without mentioning Volkswagen Polo, because the two do battle for sales, and the VW is the golden child. But now this 5th generation not only brings the Corsa name bang up to date in terms of technology, but it should also bring a fight to the market, because it can offer everything that its rivals can, just with a drive that's a step above. The 1-litre 3-cylinder is light, quiet, and one of the best on the market. The 6-speed manual gearbox goes a long way to making it such an enjoyable drive. The new Corsa's styling is a little Opel generic, but the rest of the package is an impressive one. A well-spec'd interior and a drive that's a touch more refined than the rest.